Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to Code with Clinton. So in this video, we're going to continue the blog CMS website series, you understand? So I got some requests on me continuing the blog CMS website. So I decided to hack into your request and continue the series, you understand? So without further ado, we're going to move straight into the video. Okay, right now, if you watch closely, this is the one I did previously. I did completely. So this is the one we are currently working on. We're trying to transform into the one we have here. You get so currently where we stopped is we stopped at this point. We were able to create profiles for users. You understand? So in this video, I want to make sure we can make these users update their profiles. You get so now is I want to do it now. So for example, for this website now currently we are logged out. This is the completed version. You get so this is the one we are currently working on. You understand? So now I'm going to log in a user. Log in now. I'm going to put in his name and his password. So login. Okay, it's kind of taking quite some time. Okay, we are currently logged in. Currently, you can see this is the user's account. You can see he can delete some of his articles. He can edit them. You get so let's say edit. He can edit his articles. Okay. You can see that you can edit these articles fine. So I want to show you guys something. So go back to the previous page you came from. So what we want to work on, we want to make sure that users can update their profiles. You get so they click on this icon up here. You can see they can import onto this particular form where they can update their profiles, and whatever they do here, I'm going to remove, or let's just add double X to this and just click on update profile. You can see just watch down. Okay, we've updated the profile. You get we check the back end, it has been updated, but I didn't pass that stuff in front here. I didn't pass that username in front. That's why I can see the updated version, you understand? But you can see from here, so your profile looks good. That means it has been updated. So now you can see now I'm gonna currently a user is logged in, his name is called Clint. So now I'm gonna go down to his account. Oh, sorry for that. So that's the home page. Okay, so let's make sure this user is logged in. Okay, let's log in back the user. Now we've not created the sign up form in on the front end. We are still using the admin panel. We get so now I want to show you something. Oh, okay. So my plan is to get down to the accounts of this particular user. You get so click on accounts. Currently I'm on his account now. He can update his articles, he can delete them if he likes, understand. But now we want to make sure we can update this profile. I click on this button, nothing happens. You get so I want to work on this so that I can update, so users can update their profile. So without further ado, we are getting started right now. Okay, so now let's get into business now. So now I'm going to go down to our code. Okay, so now this is the user profile model. So now we're going to create a form in this app called profiles, you understand? So we have two apps, we have profiles, we have another app called CMS app. So now let's create a file called forms in the profile app. So create a new file called forms. I'm going to call it forms.py. Forms.py. Okay, that's done already now. So now we're going to create a model form for our profile, you understand? Because we want to update this profile, so we need to use we're going to use a model form. So we're going to simply say from Django import forms, and from Django.forms we're going to import the model form. You get so after we've done this now, we're also going to import the we are going to import the profile model from the model.py file. Once we import this exact model you called user profile. So now let's do that right now. I'm going to simply say from .models I'm going to import user profile. So now after we've done this now, we're going to create this form class. Now I'm going to simply say class should be equal to update profile form, update profile form, and now we're going to simply pass in the model form we imported, model form, and now we're going to, after I've done this now, we're going to add a meta class. I'm making a mistake. So now let's add this meta class meta. So the model is going to point to the user profile we imported, and now we're also going to add some. I'm going to show you something currently. You can see this user profile. We want to add all these fields, yeah, but I want to exclude this user field we have here. So the best way to this is how we're going to do it currently. So now I'm going to simply say exclude. Instead of adding them individually, we just remove the one we don't need. So we don't want this user to be part of the fields you get. So now I'm going to simply do exclude should be equal to, we're going to simply pass in user. That's the name of the fields from our models.py file you get. So we've done this now. I'm going to import this into the views.py file, into the views. So here's our views.py. So now, okay, now let's import that. Now I'm going to simply say from .forms, I'm going to simply say import user profile. It's called what? User profile form, right? So save, come down here again. User profile. I'm not making a mistake in the spelling. I expect to get suggested, but it isn't. So from .forms, we got this user profile form. Hope is correctly spelled. Okay. So that we've done this now, we're going to create a new view function. I'm going to simply say update profile, def update profile. So now I'm going to put in the request. So now we're going to create a variable called form. You can call it whatever name you like, and before we do this, we're going to return a template for. I'm going to simply say return render. I'm going to call this requests, and now our template is going to be called. I'm going to create these templates now. Just scroll down here. We have a folder called template. So right click on the profile. So new file. I'm going to call this update profile.html. Update profile.html. So now we're going to pass that stuff. The name of that template. Now I'm going to simply say profiles. We're in the profiles model. If you watch close, we're in the profiles directory. So now we're going to simply pass in profile. I hope you understand what I'm doing. If you don't understand, ask me questions in the comment section. I'm going to do profile slash updates profile.html. So now we're going to pass the context, and now that context I'm going to add up here. It's going to be a dictionary for now. After so now we've done all this now. So now we're going to create a variable called form. You can call this whatever you like. I'm going to simply say form should be equal to, form is going to be equal to user profile form. So user profile form. So this is when we are currently on the guest request. It says cannot import name user profile form from profiles.forms. Currently we have an error code saying cannot import name user profile form. I call it update profile form, and so the mistake is from me. So I'm going to change this to update and not user. Update profile form. So now do that now. So after we've done this now, I'm going to change this to update also. Updates. So now after doing this now, we're going to simply listen for a post request. You know, simply say, okay, before we do this, we are trying to update a particular profile. So we want to get the instance of that profile. So and that instance is the logged in user you get. So I'm going to simply create a variable called profile here. Profile, we're going to simply do equal to request.user. I put the profile model for you to see something. So we're going to simply say requests.user profile. Understand? Request.user profile. So let's do that right now. We are referring to the logged in user profile. Okay, now that's going to be the instance. So this is the form we are rendering when there is a get request. So now I'm going to simply put in the form here I'm going to simply say instance. This we are trying to refer to the actual form we want to update to get. So okay, that's it now. So after we've done this now, we're going to listen for a we're going to listen for a post request. I'm going to simply say if request dot method is equal to post. We're going to update the value of the form variable we have on top. I'm going to simply say form should be equal to update profile form. I'm going to pass in request.post, and because we are trying to update, because doing this updating, we are going to be updating an image file you get. So now we are going to also put this called request.files, and we're going to pass the instance also. So the instance is going to be profile you get. Instance should be equal to profile, small profile. So after I've done this now, we're going to listen. We're going to make sure the form values are valid. We're going to say if form dot is valid, if form dot is valid, I'm going to simply say form.save, and after we've done that, we're going to pass a message. We're going to say messages.info. So I'm going to import these messages. I'm going to simply say from Django.contrib import messages. So that's done. After we've done that already, just scroll down, and I'm going to simply come in here, request. I'm going to simply now put in profile. A profile has been updated. You updated your profile. You updated your profile. So now we're going to simply, so after we've done this, we're going to return back to the accounts page. You're going to simply say return redirect. I'm going to import this redirect on top here. You're going to simply do, we're going to import redirect also. So now imported. So after we've done that, return redirect. So now I'm going to get the URL from the us.py file. I'm going to return back to the accounts page. If we're going to return back to the accounts page, you can see the accounts, which is what I'm going to point to. So now come down here, return redirect accounts. Okay, now done. So what we want to now do is now want to now create this actual update profile.html you get. So now we're going to add the exact files you get. So we're going to do we're going to extend base.html, copy this, come down here, extend. So after we've done this now, okay, so after you extended the base.html, we're going to add the blog content. Blog content. We're going to end block. Yeah, end block. So now after we've done this, we're going to add the form itself. Or before we do that, let's add the container, div class container. Don't want to waste your time with this HTML stuff. Container, and we're going to also add an ID because I styled this ID container. Okay, so now we're going to also pass in this form, I guess. So now after doing that, I had to add this h3 tag update profile you get. So after we've done that, now we're going to also add the form itself, the form tag. I'm going to simply pass in the method should be equal to posts, and after we've done this, I'm going to pass end type because we are working with images. We're going to pass this end type multipath / form data because we'll be updating images also you get. So after we've done all this, now we can now add our submit button. So now we're going to add a submit button currently. So now we're going to simply do input type should be equal to submit, and we're going to add some bootstrap classes to this. I'm going to simply say class should be equal to btn primary. Okay, I'm going to add a value to the button. It's going to be updates. So after we've done all this, now we're going to pass in the actual form itself. But before I do that, I'm going to copy some styles, because this container has an ID and this ID is being styled. So now let's add a style block first. So now I'm going to copy some styles from a different page which we have up here. These container styles are these way on different pages. Ctrl C, come down here. I'm going to paste those styles here. Okay, that's done already. So now we're going to pass in our actual form, because we passed a form from here. We passed. Okay, we've not passed the form here. This form we have up here. So I want to put this form into the context. So now I'm going to put in form. So now after we've done this, now we're going to pass that form inside. Are we going to pass it again? Simple as what we have here. I'm going to simply look through the form. So now we're going to simply do for field in form. Okay, I'm going to remove this now. Just simply add the form. Let's just add a form. Let's just say form. Okay, add on already. So we've done that already. Now, so what we want to do now is to come down to the account page. You can see we have an account.html page where we have this edit stuff. What we want to do is want to add. Before we do that, let's create the URL mapping for this view we created. Let's add the URL mapping for it. So now this is our views.py. I'm just gonna copy this. Just see. I'm gonna put this at the bottom and just say update profile. Update profile. So now I'm gonna pass the same thing here. You can put a different name, but I just want to follow convention by passing the same. I'm gonna do update profile. Okay, so now we're going to get this update profile. Now go down to the accounts page, account.html. You can see now we have this ahref. We're going to pass that stuff, the update profile we added. Now simply do URL update profile. So that's done already. So now go down to this page again, save your work. Don't forget. Now go down to the browser now, refresh, just hope there's no error this time. So now click on this icon. Oh, since there's still an error, we are not moving down to the actual page you want to get to. Okay, clicking on this update profile, nothing is currently happening. Let's check the problem. Okay, let's just look through the code. From here now, this is wrong. We should point down to the actual view. The view is this update profile you get. So now change that account to user, what's it called again? To update profile. So now, so that's fine. I think that's fine now. So the page again, refresh. You know why it's taking much time. So context must be a dictionary rather than a set. I've made another mistake. Go down to the views.py. Okay, sorry, it should be a colon in between them. Okay. So to the browser this time around, refresh the page. Good. Everything is looking jam-packed, not looking good. You can see everything is fine here. We're going to add some styles now to make this look better again. So let's do that right away. So now I'm going to simply use JavaScript to add some styles to this form. Okay, so now you can see we have some input tags. I'm going to use JavaScript now. So now let's add some scripts. I'm going to simply say let's input. I'm going to pick up the forms, all those form fields. I'm going to simply say let's input be equal to documents dot get elements by tag name. Sorry, by get elements by tag name. I'm going to simply add scripts. Okay, how to pause the video and add this JavaScript so we can save time, you get. So I simply have to go to get all the form fields. This first line we have here I highlighted. So after I did that, I have to look through the fields and add a bootstrap class so that those fields can look more beautiful, you get. So go down to the page again and let's see if it's going to look better. Okay, perfect. Now I can see we're having something quite better than the previous one. That's nice. And for this particular one, this one we have at the bottom here, this is actually a text field. So now we're going to simply add the we're going to simply select this particular box and add the actual style for this. Okay, so the plan now is to style this particular field. So now if I inspect the elements now, you see something. It has an ID called ID underscore about. So I'm going to go down to my page now to the code, and I'm going to add this about now. So I'm going to call this let description field. Let's just create description field should be equal to documents dot get elements by ID called ID underscore about. Okay, after we've done this now, we're going to simply add a particular bootstrap class to make it load. You get. So now after we've done this, we're going to add the same class called form control. We're going to simply do desk field dot class list dot add. I'm going to call this form control. Form control is a class. Form control. The everything should be fine now. The browser, refresh this page. Oh, you can see, I guess user is kind of logged out. That's a problem now. So let's log in again. Okay, currently logged in. So refresh this page. You can see the about field is looking good again, but there's something I'm having an issue currently. Watch closely, make sure we're recording. You can see all these fields are kind of jam-packed. I don't like that. I want to make sure there's a space in between them. This is how we're going to solve this issue now. So now just here, I'm going to look through the form instead of adding the form itself. I'm going to simply do for field and form. You can call, I'm going to simply say for fields, for field in form. I'm going to end for, and the for loop. So after I've ended the for loop now, we're going to simply put in the field. Before that, we're going to pass in a label, the form label you get. So now we're going to simply do field.label. I want this label to be, and it should be strong, it should be bolder, you get strong. So we're going to pass in the strong tag and pass this label inside of the strong tag. I'm going to paste it, and after we've done this, I'm going to pass in the field itself. Field. This is the actual form field. This is the label on top. So now go down to the browser again and refresh. Let's see. Okay, before that, I need to also add a line break, so that's not a line break, an extra space. I think this is better. This is looking perfect now. I get. So okay, so now after we've done this, now I can update this name. Now I can change username to Clinton-Matrix. So now Clinton-Matrix. So let's see, updates. Oh, I've got to add the csrf token. So add a csrf token, you get. csrf was wrong. I need to make sure my video is recording. Okay, it's recording. I'm gonna add csrf underscore token. So refresh. Okay, so now Clinton-Matrix now. So if I show you, okay, clean thematics, so the same error. So let's go down to now, go down to the account page. Currently we're on the account page. You can see that the username is called Clint. Now I want to update this username from Clint to Clint thematics. So update. So come down here and add Clint thematics username. Click on update. Oh god, this csrf token. You know what the problem is. So go down to the page again, refresh this page, resend. Let's go down, okay, refresh the page again. Now I have been changed to clean thematics already. Okay, let's check the error this last time. Oh, the csrf token is outside of the form. It should be inside the form. Sorry for the mistake and the time wasted. I'm really sorry. So it should be inside the form, not outside. That's a problem. So go down to the page again, go back again, refresh this page. So now we have clean here. So let's put in clean thematics. It's not, I mistakenly typed enter, so you see it changed to clean thema, but that's not what I want. Let's add clean thematics. Clean thematics. Okay. Now I'm gonna simply say I'll just simply say I'm a backend developer. I love Django and I am planning to learn React. You can see currently, let's save, update profile. You can see now we have clean thematics up down here. I want to update this our about me section. So let's add some more text. Again, so now go down to the update form again. You can simply say I'm a backend developer. I love Django. I love coding. You get, so you just say, I can now simply say I am happy. I am happy. So now updates. You can see now we have I am happy added. We have changed our username to clean thematics. I can change my name, my normal name. I'm going to add my native. I'm going to add my native name called Chibuna. So updates. Everything works fine. You can see that's awesome. And I'm going to remove that. It's not looking good there. You can see save. Oh no, not save yet. So yeah, mistakenly. So I'm not simply going to cancel this prompt. So save, update again. Everything is just fine. So we've come to the end of this video. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to delete user profiles. So do well to subscribe.